Okay, what we're looking at here is some fuel pump components for Lucas mechanical injection. First thing we'll start with is what's not Lucas, and that's this Bosch pump. If we have a look closely at this Bosch pump, Bosch have a part number on all their products. That was ground off by the supplier, and the supplier supplies these things globally. They're one of the biggest suppliers in the world by the looks of it. This is the wrong pump. Simple as that. It's a Bosch pump. Bosch are fabulous products, but you have to have the right one, and this is the wrong one, and that's what they're supplying to people. So as a consequence, it lasted a very short time before it faltered. There is a correct Bosch pump. It's quite expensive. I used to know the number, but I believe they've updated their number system. I think it finished with 044. Don't quote me on that because they've updated it. But Bosch themselves should be able to advise on that. So okay, that's the mighty Bosch pump. Lasted about 3 days on my friend's TR6. Now we come to the correct pump for the car, a Lucas pump, which a lot of people will rubbish, and it's usually people that don't know what they're talking about, because there's actually nothing wrong with them at all. They are simple and effective. First and foremost, they're not a wiper pump, wiper motor. That's rubbish. That's utter garbage. That's not true. Here's a Lucas wiper motor, and without even measuring it, we can see the housings are not the same, totally different diameters. The armatures are not the same. What is the same is the brush plate, and that's about it. In over 50 years of working on these cars and this fuel system, I have never yet found a Lucas wiper motor that any components other than the brush plate will swap into the fuel pump. So, old wives' tales, load of rubbish. Here is a kit for rebuilding the pump. If we have a look inside, we see there are 2 O-rings, 1 seal, and a pair of brushes and 2 springs. That's it. That's as complicated as it gets. No problem at all. On my other video, you'll note that I'm running a helper pump to pre-pressurize the Lucas pump. Bear in mind, that, for instance, is over 60 years old and still going strong. So what we do is we just take some of the load off the pump by running a helper pump. You'll see people running cooling coils. Even here in New Zealand in the middle of summer, we don't need a cooling coil. If you need a cooling coil, it's generally speaking because the pump's drawing too much current and that's getting hot. You'll feel it get hot. If it's running at 4 amps, which is about what it should, and the system's good, it shouldn't get hot. Half the reason they get hot is because everybody wants to play with the metering unit and everything else, and instead of some basics of make sure that all pipework hoses are not blocked and that we have a fresh, clean filter. We want to change that regularly. They're cheap. They're only about $10 here in New Zealand. Don't know what they cost overseas. They're cheap, so change that regularly, particularly if your pump's running hot. If you're having to use a cooling coil, you really need to look and find out why things are running too hot. So I don't use cooling coils. I do use a helper pump. I'm not the only one. Andy Thompson in Australia is one, for instance. Many guys around the world use a helper pump. The pump itself supplies through a relief valve. It's a very, very simple relief valve. We can turn the little nylon adjuster in there and adjust that. We shouldn't have to turn it more than about half a turn, otherwise it's a sign usually that this valve is needing replaced. They're available now, and yeah, they last for, like for instance, this one's 60 years or more and still fine. So yeah, the other thing we can do to help our system is to run something like More's upper cylinder lubricant. This will help to keep injectors clean. It will help to stop detonation. It will lubricate these seals and O-rings, because we're not running leaded fuel anymore, which used to do that for us. So it's a good idea to run something like this. I do in all of my cars, classic cars. It's really a fabulous product. No, I don't get anything from More's for using it. I have to buy this at the same price as everybody else. But I'm giving it a plug because it's one of my secrets to have my cars running well. So yeah, there you have it. New and improved, lasted 3 days. Old and inferior, 60 years old. A new kit in it, and it's good as gold. This was about $600 New Zealand. That's about $100 New Zealand, and you get another 60 years out of your pump. Thank you very much.